We can't take it. We can't take the excitement. We can't take the hype. We can only take so much Tarzan Boy before we just get too pumped. What's going on, Dodgers Nation?
Dodgers Nation, how's it feel to be in first place?
That's right. You know, if I had my soundboard here, it'd be meh, 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 meh.
Seize the moment, baby.
Oh, man. So what's going on? Happy Tuesday night, Mr. Evans.
Yeah, so as you see, I'm rolling. I'm the first guy in the world to ever roll with a Stinger headset and a pair of aviators. I'm going to do that every night we're in first place, and we do this show. I'm going to wear these awful glasses that my dad let me borrow because I don't even have a pair of aviators. That's how old these damn things are.
I just messed up over my bad. I messed up. I think I messed up on Facebook side. I'm not too sure. I'll check that out along the way. But yeah, no. Sometimes you just got to be a trendsetter, you know?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I believe in it. The Dodgers are going to be all business. This is what you'd wear to go do business. So I think as long as we're in first, I'm rolling these out. It looks like the party's lit on Periscope. If you're over there on Periscope TV, give us a shout out of your area code, and we'll do our best to call you out. We want to definitely engage anybody that's watching and took the time to join us tonight.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Facebook side as well. We'll go ahead and open up YouTube. I know we get some YouTube fun. Not sure what goes on Twitch yet. We got to figure that one out. You know, that's all. I think that's all Mr. Bergman's domain for post game. But this is DN pregame, so we're gonna go and have some fun. Let's set it up tonight. It's Kershaw Day here in beautiful Los Angeles.
Yeah, the pavement was just a little bit hotter out there today, wasn't it?
You know what? Maybe a tad more.
Yeah, no, I mean, Kershaw Day, it's something that you should always get excited for and feel good about, and take nothing for granted because, who knows? In some weird twist of fate, it's something we'll talk about later, but who knows if this is the last time. To think that there is a small percent chance it's the last time you pitch at Dodger Stadium. I mean, I don't believe that, but
yeah,
that possibility exists.
It's a rough thought. We don't like to think about bad things here, Evans.
No, we won't bring it up much, but it's at least worth it. Just appreciate tonight. When he gets mad after a strike call that he doesn't get, just appreciate that a little bit more. Every little Kershaw mannerism he gives us.
So let's set it up. Left-handed pitcher, Mr. Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Edward Kershaw, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, going up against left-handed Kyle Freeland for Colorado. So you know what that means? It's the B squad, your B lineup.
Yeah,
Not feeling it, huh? Thumbs down.
We knew we were going to get the B lineup, but I just wanted some tweaks to the B lineup.
Yeah.
I thought, maybe Muncy hitting a ball, halfway up the right center stands last night, might have impressed upon Roberts. Like, this guy's hot, let's leave him out there. But alas, I am not Dave Roberts. I'm just a guy doing a show in his basement.
You're a jag. That's absolutely. You're basically a reliever in this pen. You're a jag, just a guy.
I'm a jag, extremely.
So, yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and roll out the lineup here. And if you want to give us our lineup fun, so if people who don't know on the Twitter side, every day we post a lineup on Twitter, Dodgers Nation, at Dodgers Nation on Twitter. So here's our lineup fun for today. Go ahead and give us the excitement there, Mr. Clint.
Yeah, so thanks to my good friend AJ Gonzalez, I believe, of Dodgers Nation. You can follow him at AJ on the guitar. He does these fun lineups a lot for us. But we've got CT3 leading off in left field. We've got Justin Turner overdrive at third base. Machado about something at shortstop. Iceman at first base. Lead us into temptation. Right field hitting fifth. Shades of Forsythe, second base. Wow, that's a ball shot, AJ. Banana Man, center field. In Austin City Limits, that's very touchy. I like that. And then we've got good old Goat Shaw, 9-hole pitcher. So, B lineup, but A lineup fun. Good job.
I feel pretty solid about it. You know what? Freeze, since he's come to LA, has been lights out.
I like Freeze.
Yeah,
I like Freeze.
I think throwing him in the lineup there is the right call. There's not anything Justin Turner can't do wrong or can do right. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. Justin Turner is on a different wavelength of baseball at the moment, and man, ever since he's gotten inserted that second spot and opened up that stance, it's just been crazy. But we knew this lineup. We knew we weren't going to see Peterson, despite the fact that he hit a home run. Yes, we know he hit a home run off a lefty yesterday, guys. Yes, we know he's 3 for 4 in his career off Kyle Freeland. But you know what? It's not playing these platoons, playing these matchups. It's what's got us here, and I think we've passed the point of being able to say, hey. What's the deal here? Why isn't this guy starting? Why isn't that? It's working. It's working, and we should just shut up for a little bit and enjoy it.
Well, my friend Sean Hecker over on Periscope TV, thanks for checking in, Sean. He's shocked Muncy isn't in there today.
Yeah.
And again, I think Muncy has I get Peterson. I even can concede Bellinger. But I just will say, Muncy's numbers are there. And I think you and I were chatting a little bit early today. We thought Muncy might get the start over, say, a Dozier.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And there was an article on ESPN today. I mean, this is getting some national headlines, like the Dodgers clubhouse, and the unselfishness of the guys on the roster that they know this is what's come to be. And that's kind of what I think some of them are attributing, them staying in the race to.
Yeah.
If you read that article, it's a pretty good read. We linked it on our Twitter account. Check it out. Just scroll down a little bit. But, yeah, like you said, there's not much we can do about it.
No, yeah.
Just gotta...
given the fact that it's been working, you can't refute. It works. It's you getting the stats. They're there. They're saying, hey, we're winning ball games. We went from 4.5 down behind Arizona to now, hopefully after tonight, a 1.5 up on Colorado. Colorado. By the way, so let's look at the Facebook side real quick before we get more into tonight's matchup. But we gotta love Mario Flores Jr. He loved. He says shades of Forsythe. That's cold, but he's laughing. He's laughing out loud. So thank you, Mario. We love that. Albert Lopez. He's saying we need to sweep. AJ here on the guitar and on the Facebook. He apologizes for nothing.
No, and he shouldn't. AJ's the man.
Thank you on that one. We got somebody Puig hitting the ball too much. Roberts knows best. I like that. You know what? I mean, that's the one surprise you would like to see Puig, but this season he hasn't really hit left-handed pitching, so it's working right now. I would still rather seen Puig in there, but it is what it is. But we do know on Colorado side one guy we're not going to see in there, and that's shortstop Trevor Story, who kind of lucked out. I don't know if you saw the latest, but everybody going into the morning, we saw, obviously he came out of the game yesterday, but going into the morning it was, he might have blown out his elbow laying out for a ball, but it turns out it's just inflammation. Probably won't see him again this series, but tough break for Colorado.
So did new news break on that, Clint, where
Yeah.
he's not going to miss the rest of the year?
They said he might miss a few games, but they really caught a lucky break on it for sure. It looks like it's just inflammation. I would imagine they're gonna bust another MRI on it again by the weekend. But
And
outside
he'll be back out there. He'll be back out there hitting bombs in no time. Is
yeah,
what you're saying?
yeah, Pat
Yeah.
trying to
So
extend
that-
his MVP hopefulness, which I don't think
Yeah,
he'll end
that-
up getting. But otherwise, I know you're pretty excited about this Dodger lineup, or just the Dodgers as a whole, the roster against Kyle Freeland.
Yeah, I mean, there's optimism there. I think a lot of people have this idea in their head where, like, oh, it's Kyle Freeland, and he's had success against us in the past, and like he's a pretty good lefty.
Yep.
He's having a good year, but when you look deeper into the numbers, as I did last night, prepping for today's show, Freeland against the Dodgers currently on the roster, and really the only blemish there is it counted Corey Seager has a couple knocks off him, and Corey's not active, but we're 307 lifetime against Freeland. That's 127 lifetime at bats. So
Yeah.
there's some levity to it, and it's an 885 OPS. I mean, again, a little bit of a Coors effect, but this is a lineup as a whole. These guys have found success against him. They're comfortable enough against him that that 15-7, 2.96 ERA. It might play down a little bit on a night like tonight. I would think. I'm hopeful of that.
It could, just knowing how much this game means to them. You can see a different Kyle Freeland, especially with how good he's been this season. But we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully, it's what we had last night. We want more of the same, guys. Give us more of the same. So what else you got going on Periscope before we get deeper into the show?
Well, it looks like we've got our first possible troll, but if he's not, I appreciate him being here either way. Chelio Zero says Astros in 7, and then he follows that up with Astros win the World Series. And then we've got Bergman Greg. Are you inside and wearing glasses? Greg, I am. Thank you for joining us. Our great Dodgers Nation post-game host. Always a big fan of his show myself, so check that out when he's available. I think he's going live tomorrow night. Always good content and real good fan interaction.
And we're hoping with some potential big news coming in for the end post-game. So we'll save that excitement for him, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I've got going on Periscope right now.
Facebook side, we got a lot of people. We got Huntsville, Alabama, it looks like. We got Gentry Sullivan, Dodger Blue from Huntsville. Thank you, Gentry. Another person wondering where's Puig. He'll probably get some ABs by the 4th, 5th inning. You never know. Anne Marie is wondering, we gave up Nathan Eovaldi for who again? That's such an old trade. I can't actually think of it offhand.
I can't either. If you offered me $200 right now, I couldn't.
I want to say the Eovaldi trade was.
That's a great trivia.
Was that
was D in that?
Who?
D Gordon?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Maybe. No. D
okay.
was basically like he was the centerpiece of that trade. As I'm pretty sure Eovaldi had gone straight. Oh, you know what? We're too old. We're too old to remember. Yeah. Let's see. Why is Kemp not playing more consistently? He's not really earning it right now. Plus, it's kind of going against the platoon matchups and all that. You wanna add on that?
Yeah, I think Kemp. You want to keep. He's got a lot of mileage on him right now. I mean, he hasn't had a DL stint all year. That's surprising to me. They've done a good job of knowing when to give Matt Kemp time off, and then this platooning has kind of played right into that. It's keeping him healthy. He's definitely a guy you want if you're going to go into the playoffs or be down the stretch in a playoff race. We've seen what he can do coming off the bench or late innings. His guile, his experience is something you want. So I think it serves him best if he's not out there, 5-6 days a week right now. I mean, if he's being honest with you, he'd probably tell you, I'm a little bit worn down. I'm not quite feeling the pop in my swing I did in April. But again, like Clint said, the numbers against right-handers recently haven't really warranted it either. He's still a dangerous man against the lefty, but
yeah, you can tell. I get a feeling something's nagging. Something's nagging in Kemp of late. He's just not putting together the same type of productive at bats he was going into the middle of July and that All-Star game. I think I seem to recall him kind of tweaking his ankle on
well,
play.
He's went into the wall a few times hard.
Yeah, an old man shouldn't be doing that. Let me tell you, as an old guy myself.
I can't imagine at my age running into that wall like he did. I mean, you've seen me. I can't even throw anymore.
Oh, yeah. He's a master of the yips, Mr. Evans over there. That guy, ooh, you don't want to throw next to Dodger Stadium with him. That ball's going all over the place.
A lot of factors in play there I won't get into. Greg Bergman checks in real quick and says it was the Hanley trade for Eovaldi. Thank you, Greg.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
You know what? Yeah, he's on staff for a reason, folks. He's a knowledge bowl.
It's those notes.
We got Dodd. What's that?
It's those notes he started keeping yesterday. His little index cards.
Yeah, we've got Dodger fan 42031 saying, "What up? Thanks for joining us, man." Sean Hecker says, "I actually agree with Puig not playing. He's only hitting .219 against left-handers." Yeah, I mean those reverse splits are in play. So thank you for that. That's it's good work there, Sean.
Let's see, one of our fan favorites here, Rafael Santiago, asks, or actually it's more of a statement and observation. Justin Turner's getting pitched way inside since the Cardinal series, and he's worried about that wrist. You definitely seen that a lot. You know, people are trying to kind of get into his head, it seems like, maybe, or they're just, the pitchers are really attacking inside, and thank God for that pad on his wrist.
Yeah, man. I mean,
nowhere.
It's not just since the Cardinals series. I mean, the book on him must be, look, we've got to tie this guy up inside, and that's what led to obviously the injury in spring training. I mean, I've seen it all year. He came off the DL, took a few pitches, that first week, like that almost broke it again, and so that must be the book on him. You've got to tie him up, or you have like no chance if the ball's out over the plate.
And he's doing so well getting his hands in on those, not trying to do too much with it, as they say in baseball, just going with the pitch, and it's been great. Ignacio Tellez gives us some news here regarding possible playoff matchups. Just saw that Brandon Morrow is done for the season.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's definitely painful, because that Cubs bullpen, we talked about in the last pregame, if we're looking forward to kind of getting a little ahead of ourselves, Dodgers match up pretty well with just about any team out there. And funny enough, as much as we don't want to think this way or kind of believe it, as we said last time too, since May 17th, Penn has posted a 3.38 ERA, which is now second in the National League, but they lead the National League in batting average against. So it's you can't go wrong having the second best bullpen in the NL.
No, man, and I don't think anybody, to be honest with you, wants to see the Dodgers, come up as their opponent in October. And again, I'm not being condescending, but I just think that we're a pretty scary team when we get in a short series. It's going to be pretty intimidating for really any of those teams. And one quick point on Morrow, I saw that news before the show, and it's like, how ironic. I know there was a big contingency of people that wanted Morrow back, and I was probably one of them. Oh, yeah. And Darvish, and it's like, by this cheapness that I hear thrown around, or heard thrown around a lot in the first half, like the front office was cheap. Fraudman Twitter, the front office is, it didn't spend money. They avoided two huge pitfalls in Darvish and Morrow, didn't they?
Yeah. We, I would say we all lucked out with the frugalness of the front office, allegedly, and still to this day under that luxury tax threshold. So this offseason could be pretty lit, guys. Let's see what else. So we got Miyuki over here on Facebook saying, trust Robert's decisions. Look at that. Somebody that's level-headed?
Well, I'll trust it as long as it works, Miyuki.
It's working, and it's proving to be working. You can't. The evidence is there.
He's got us in first place. Yeah, I mean, I can't. The guy's a winner. I mean, I've heard Greg say it a lot on the post game. He'd go down with the ship with Roberts, and I would too. I mean, he's like my uncle. He's like my weird uncle that shows up at some of the holidays and does some quirky things, but I still love him. And
Are you talking about you talking about Bergman opening his post game yesterday with the dance? That's pretty weird.
I didn't see that. I unfortunately I missed that episode. But
don't dance next time, Bergman. What gives, man? Come on.
If he was dancing, I'm all for it. You know, this is a
classy stuff. This is a classy website. Dodgers Nation, we're all class. No, we're not. You should see this guy, Clint Evans. Woo, Diamond Hoggers. He's rough.
Well, speaking of all class, our head editor.
Yes.
What you want to touch on that? Let's talk about Brookett for a minute, if he's out there.
Brilliant.
He's out there somewhere, but if he's probably not watching. But we want to dedicate this segment to our editor, Brooke.
Brilliant Clints think alike. So on August 20th, our Mr. Brooke Smith, Brooke Me 3 on the Twitter, he says the Dodgers are going to go 23-14 the rest of the season and take the NL West by a game. Book it. And of course, immediately afterwards, we were like, "Don't you mean Brook it?" So clearly, he's got to be able to brook this thing. Since that point, the Dodgers are 16-10 since that tweet. We're wondering now if they can pull off a 9-4 record while they're en route. Or I guess 7-4 record.
No, I saw it. It's 8. They need to go 8-4, Clint. I saw an updated tweet by Brooke Me 3 himself today.
Today.
Well, you know what? It might have been from last night, and then they won. Yeah. So all they have to do is go 7-4, I think, for Brooke to be the smartest man in the world.
He called it. He called it. Look at that. That's why he's the best.
He's a special guy, man. And when I saw that tweet, I had kind of a funny feeling about it. I know he sat back and did some type of wizard math, or something spoke to him. You know, it's like that scene where the dude from The Hangover, all the equations and such.
Uh-huh.
But I think Brooks right on the money. I do think it could be like by a game or so that the last part of that tweet was we're going to win it by like one game.
Yeah,
and I think he could be right on that.
I'm thinking more like he's from Back to the Future. He has the book of all the all the historic games that have happened. He's totally Back to the Futuring us right now. You could Brook it.
Biff Brook.
He's Biff Me 3. On,
Biff Smith.
Biff Smith.
Okay.
Anyway, moving right along. Well-oiled machine here, guys, on the DN pregame. What else we got? Let's see. Just a babbling Brooke. Oh, come on, AJ. Don't be mean to Brooke. It's rude. Words hurt, mister.
Brooke, for anybody who's listening to, would appreciate me pointing out that he hates beach balls at baseball games, and even more than that, he hates the wave. So yeah, he's against those things.
Yeah, he's a hater of fun, much like Greg Bergman. He really does hate the fun.
Are you okay with the wave, real quick?
I won't participate in the wave until it has made its rounds at least twice. Then I'll maybe put up an arm. But I've been through some gnarly waves, man. Like, we're talking about 10 plus around the stadium, like in unison too. Those are some good times.
Yeah, I'm sure it was hopping in the 90s with the wave. You know, that's totally 90s.
Yeah.
In my mind.
No. I'm not that old. What are you talking about? So
okay.
Let's see some other stuff. Let's look again back at today's matchup. So Kershaw, since the All-Star break, has been solid. Like you were saying, he seems nice and strong, and it's feeling good to have a healthy Kershaw leading, down to the stretch run. What are we feeling? What do we think Kershaw can put on the? Let's kind of call our shot for Kershaw. What are you thinking out of him today?
I think we get 6 and change. About 105, 110 pitches, and I'm going to say 7 strikeouts, 1 walk,
all right.
2 or 3 earned runs. I mean, again, a quality start, and gives us a shot.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm going to go with a solid 7. It's Kershaw, it's Colorado. This game means so much. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, no walks. They're going to throw one of those games out there. 2 runs.
Wow.
You could brook it. Don't bet on it, guys. Don't bet on that one. But is it about that time? You want the dollars to touch?
Dollars touch.
Dollars
my favorite
touch.
segment. I wait all day for this.
There we go, guys. And we'll go ahead and talk about the picks to click real soon. We want to let you, or we want you guys to tell us in the comments who you think is going to have a good game today. But Evans, go ahead and lead us off here.
Yeah, so dollars touch, you'll see the nice graphic Clint's put up there for us. What that's telling us, guys, is I'm like a meteorologist here. The Dodgers opened as huge favorites. Basically, it would take $200 to win $100. That's moved up to $220, and actually I saw before the show to $230. And, that's because the people are betting on the Dodgers. You see that 60% there on the Dodgers.
Yep.
And that's a good sign, guys, that it's moving up, okay? The Dodgers are getting more expensive to bet. That means that the lines makers feel kind of like they're going to win the game. It's justified. And so I'm going to say they win the game tonight. Again, it's not like a bold prediction or anything, but like they do lose Kershaw starts. He's 8-5.
Yeah.
It's not a lock anymore. He's not 19-2, but I think they win the game tonight. And like Clint said, we get a huge effort from Kersh. What's your gut telling you on win or lose tonight? It's okay to say, remember, dollars touch. You can say they're going to lose if you get that feeling, but I don't think you get that feeling.
No, tonight's the game I feel pretty solid about because you got Kershaw matching up against their ace. Our old man ace going up against them. I think he's going to put up a great game. Knowing how much is on the line, he wants to make these games count.
Couldn't agree more, man. And I feel better about tonight than I do about tomorrow night. And some people might be like, "What? Bueller's throwing tomorrow?"
Yeah, I feel like what?
That's great.
That's Buell doggy dog, baby.
Let me throw a swerve here. And so, how high right now is the entire world on Walker Buehler? They're very high on him, rightfully so.
Yeah.
He looks unstoppable. All I know about baseball is this: every time something looks so predetermined, or like, hey, we've got Buehler going for the sweep tomorrow. I think we win tonight. We'll have Buehler going for the sweep tomorrow. And with that, just a little bit of a chance of a letdown start. He's a rookie. Again, I feel better about tonight than tomorrow night, and I'll stand by that. And we'll see, how it plays out. But
yeah.
Just my gut. Just my gut.
I think he kind of last started in St. Louis. That was his kind of statement game. What he was able to throw out there in St. Louis, I think he can do it against Colorado at home, in LA. He's been solid in LA. I had the numbers earlier. I put them together, but as a starting pitcher this year, he has an ERA of 2.51, I think it is, as opposed to his season ERA of 2.8 because of that one relief outing. Just everything about it lines up for a good. I feel worse about today's game than I do about the Buehler game, and I feel good about both. I'm just feeling good, guys. I'm feeling
well,
great.
That's great. That's great to hear. We've got our friend Frank Ellis All-Star says Kershaw gets scared in big games.
This isn't the playoffs, though.
Hot take, but yeah, I think he's golden tonight. Clint's right. He realizes the ramifications of this one, and you're going to get your best Clayton. Does the bullpen hold up their end of the deal? Probably the bigger question.
And I think, probably even so in the back of his mind, he's got to be thinking, hey, this could very well be my last game.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
But we're not allowed to talk about it. But
we can talk about it. We can talk about it. All things go on here.
Let's say before we get deeper into it, to reach out to our people on Periscope, Facebook, yada yada. Go ahead. We're going to talk about who we think's going to have a good game tonight. Who's our pick to click? So go ahead and keep mashing those heart buttons for that. But also, give us your comments, and we're going to get to them real soon. So go ahead.
Well, where was I? We're talking about Kersh's possible last game. I mean, there's always that chance that he opts out or something weird. I mean, he's been healthy enough you just never know. So all I'm saying is enjoy tonight, and I'm sure the thought has been through his head today at some point, even if it was just for a second. This could be the last time I step on this mound, and I've been on this mound since I was a kid.
Yes.
So you just never know, and I'm going to watch every delivery tonight.
Yeah, savor that "We Are Young" by Fun on the lineup, guys.
Nice call.
Or in the beginning of the game. So pick to click. Call your shot, Evans. What you got?
Real quick, Scotty Dog just knows the way to my heart on Periscope. He said Pavil, Pav-I-Lon, but he means pavilion. And that's my favorite place in the world, Scotty. So my pick to click tonight is Chris Taylor leading off. Mr. Taylor's only hitting 237 this year against lefties, which I was a little bit surprised to see that.
That was a very odd stat you threw at me.
Yeah, it would surprise one. However, he's got 4 home runs and 13 RBIs against the Colorado Rockies this year. By far his best numbers against any team. So I'm going to go with CT. I've got just a feeling about him. My old man is obsessed with him, loves him. He'll call me in the morning and be like, what did Taylor do? And he says dumb things like Taylor always does something when it counts, or he says old man things about Taylor. So tonight's for my old man, and tonight will be Taylor's night at the dish.
I'm in. I like it. We got he's leading off. He was excellent leading off last year. Make Taylor great again. You know what? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say real quick, he's not a guy either that you always see swapped out in the 5th inning against a lefty. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
They'll let him get his full round of at-bats.
Mine, before we get to the fans out there, I kind of struggled with it a bit today, and I think anybody could cheat and go with like Justin Turner. You could cheat and you'd be like, oh yeah, whatever, he's going to throw up a couple of hits, but just before the show, I was kind of struggling a bit thinking about it, and I had that feeling. It was there. Matt Kemp. I'm going Matt Kemp. I think he can dink one tonight. So there
I like it, man. Yeah, and I'm with you. I like that we don't go for low hanging fruit on the show. Anyone can pick Manny Machado or Justin Turner, but it takes 2 real guys to go out there and pick Kemp and Chris Taylor on a night like tonight, and one of those 2 comes up big. What do you guys think if you're out there listening? Give us your picks to click. Just shout the name out. We'll call you out as we see it.
See, I know I saw one. Let's see. Raphael says he predicts Freeze will have a great game offensively. A very good chance that happens for the 2 at-bats he's going to end up getting today. We got some more people talking about what they expect Kershaw's line. Paul is asking, he says 7 innings. No runs. I like that. It's even more optimistic than mine. Chris is saying 6 1/3, 6 Ks, 1 walk, 3 earned runs. Fair start. Not up to Kershaw standards, but that could be a win. What do you got over there on your side?
I've got nothing right now, Cotton. We need you to light up here, Periscope. Give us your picks to click. Let us know what you see Kershaw doing, or just shout out your area code. We want to engage you guys. That's why we're doing it. Nothing to report here. I mean, we do have Sean Hecker pointing out that Kershaw has lowered his postseason ERA every single year. This year's bad game, like he said, was that fateful game 5, which I try not to think about. But thank you, Sean, for pointing that out.
Yeah, if you look at Kershaw's numbers, you actually dig into those numbers. There is a huge amount of the runs that he's allowed weren't allowed by him. They were, most of the time, it's been Baez coming in and letting in his runs. So that's another reason why I'm not a huge Baez fan. But you know what? Nowadays, I cannot speak ill of Baez. I can't talk about him at all. He's the forbidden fruit.
You can't eat him.
See, Albert saying Matt Kemp with his bobblehead will have a great game. Is tonight a bobblehead night?
It's Kemp bobblehead night.
Oh, look at that. The TBT getting a bobblehead. Well, no wonder he's starting. And I didn't even know that, so I called Kemp. I was feeling it. It's feeling it in my bones, feeling it in my blood. Look at that. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, everybody knows the rules. I mean, if it's your bobblehead night, if you're healthy, you're playing. So he would have played it anyway. But.
We got another pick to click. Somebody you wouldn't expect, the ghost of Forsyth himself. Chris is saying going down on a limb and taking Bulldozer. You know what?
All right, I'm
on board. I'm on board. I can take it.
Sean Hecker likes Freese, so we got another Freese vote. But touching on Dozier real quick, I mean, he gave us a great memory out there. Like most of the Dodger Stadium crew or the Dodgers Nation crew was out there in the pavilion. And he hit. I think he hit the game tying bomb that night.
Yeah, that was his first Dodgers home run.
Yeah. So we were all going bananas. I hope he pulls it together because, again, he has a lot of pride in being a Dodger. He plays hard. He seems like a really good dude. So I like Dozier. I wish he was playing a little bit better right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he wishes the same. And it's not for lack of effort, guys. He's trying. So let's move back. We got some other subjects that we wanted to touch on. How about that game from Ryu last night? Huge statement.
He just was so in command. Never made us sweat. I mean, I'm so appreciative of how he's been this season. And it's honestly, I didn't have a ton of faith in him when this year started. I kind of felt like, when he's starting in Arizona, like I don't want to see him start. But he's is he a playoff 3 starter right now for you?
100%. He's my guy. I think last night was his statement that, look, I belong in this rotation come playoff time. Last year, because he can't pitch out of relief, last year he was omitted from the playoff roster, and in the long run, it probably ended up hurting us a bit, based on whatever. I just felt like saying that, but a lot of people kind of just assume the top 3 are going to be Kershaw, Buehler, and then Rich Hill, followed by most likely, either Ryu or Stripling. But I got some concerns on Rich Hill right now. A lot of people aren't looking at it, and I talked about it on today's Blue Heaven podcast, which we haven't shouted out properly yet. We talked about it on the podcast that, over his last 3 starts, he's given up 4 earned runs. That's 3 starts straight, and then 4 of his last 6, which, that's concerning. He's, I think we just all feel like, everything's going so well in the rotation. Rich Hill's probably doing well too, but it's just not there.
Until you brought this to, my attention, I really didn't realize it.
Yeah.
I feel like, he's a solid every down back, and that's not really the case. You're right.
No.
I mean, I feel like a couple of or at least one of those starts was a course start.
Mm-hmm.
I won't count that against him, but yeah, you're right. I mean, he's kind of reverting back to beginning of the season before he got the blister, Rich Hill.
Yeah.
Maybe wearing down a little bit.
It looks that way.
Yeah, and so I'm with you. I would favor Ryu in a game 3 of a postseason series right now over Hill, and that's tough for me to say because Hill's probably my favorite pitcher in the big leagues right now, and I liked him before he was a Dodger. I mean, I like his story, but you're right. The numbers aren't there right now.
Yeah, so it's concerning. Hopefully there's something mechanically they could figure out, and that's been the thing for him. It's been just one pitch, and all of a sudden it's a 3-run home run or the grand slam in St. Louis. It's been just that 1 inning, 1 home run that hasn't been a solo shot. Like Kershaw's lucked out this season with mostly giving up solo shots, and that hasn't been the case with Richie Hill of late. So hopefully D Mountain can straighten it out.
The legend of D Mountain's always going to be there, regardless of So he's a fan favorite, I think, in a lot of people's hearts. We got some guys back today, some fresh bodies, right?
Yeah. Well, last night, each one of them made their way into the game, but Yimi Garcia, John Axford, and probably the most important one, Tony Cingrani, all got into the game last night. Axford and Cingrani, actually, I think Yimi too, fresh off a single A ball win. A championship there down out in Rancho Cucamonga, so good for them.
Yeah, congrats, Rancho. Love you, Rancho. Was Yimi part of that?
I think he was still on their active roster for that.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Well, congrats on being a champion, Yimi.
Imagine that though. Imagine being that other single A team showing up, and there's 4 kind of mostly established big leaguers on the other side of the diamond. That's just messed up.
It is, man. It's one of those things about minor league ball. I've always kind of thought about it. It's like you can kind of like, I don't want to say rig it, but like those guys aren't really your typical minor leaguers. I mean, those are guys that get big league hitters out. Yeah. So hey, but not taking anything away from Rancho. You guys did it all year.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You had to get there first.
That's right. I'm glad of these 3. I know everybody's excited about Cingrani. I guess I'm a little nervous about him physically. I mean, if he's feeling great, it is a big addition to have back. But I think I'm most excited about Axford, and
Really?
on our, yeah, I am, and I think AJ said it too. You know, other than the Houston appearance, where he obviously it was a nightmare debut, but
Yeah.
like I'm glad we got him back because that's something I can see Axford working out. I mean, he's not gonna win any beauty contests, like literally. Okay.
No. I
But
would say no.
but he's he's got good bones. He's got good bones. Like he throws hard. He has, like, you could see the stuff's kind of there to where he could, you know, he could put something together and catch lightning in a bottle for a few weeks and then through the playoffs. I don't know. I have this weird feeling about him. It probably won't come to fruition, but I've long kind of lost faith in Yimi becoming what I thought he would become.
Yeah, I think 2018 is kind of a lost year for him.
Yeah, and you know, Cingrani again. Cingrani's pitched a long time here in Ohio for the Reds, and again, I think very highly of. He's got 2 really good pitches, but again, I want to make sure he's healthy before I go ahead and get really excited.
Yeah.
But you know, he could shape into that key left-hander we need. You know, instead of
It's
Ross Cup and.
Yeah, I would much rather have an even, 80% Cingrani over Roscup. Roscup just, it doesn't do it for me. And Ferguson isn't that true left-handed reliever type. Same with Scott Alexander, because Alexander's your 8th inning guy. So you're really kind of, you're without the true loogie type like we talked about last time. So Cingrani back could be huge, and he's the type of dude that can, you don't need to get him an abundance of work to see what he's got. Throwing him in for the last out of the game last night was a clutch move. And, at the end of the day, it sure was on a full count, but he got the final out, and, Randy sent him home. Our boy Randy Newman.
Hit it, Randy.
Hit it, Randy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if, over here on Facebook, I don't know if this is an insult for you or a compliment, but John Mayer says that Clint Evans looks like Jock Peterson. How you taking it, Jock?
I think, he's probably in a little better shape, but I appreciate that, Mr. Mayer.
Yeah. Better
like
arm
Jock,
for
man.
sure. I can attest to the fact that
Jock's
he's got a better arm.
He's got a much better arm at this stage in the game. He's, but I like Jock, and that kind of leads us nicely into. I tweeted it last night when he hit that bomb to lead off the game. He took it the other way.
Yeah.
They had to shift on him. Professional hitter Jock Peterson goes the other way to give us a 1-0 lead. He just continues. I think that was his 6th leadoff bomb of the year.
Yeah.
He hit one the night. He hit one off Verlander the night you and I were there when no one could sniff him. He just continues to be that guy when it's like, who's going to step up? No one's stepping up. Who's going to step up? And he gets he hits a bomb, and I like Jock, man. He's just grown on me. He's been through the trenches, and what do you think?
He's heating up at the right time. I had the numbers earlier for the other for the podcast, but hitting 409 in the last week, 298 over the last 20 games, or 30 days, whatever his amount of games are, but. He's locked in. It just seems like he's more locked in. He's getting consistent at bats because there hasn't been as many lefties on the mound that Dodgers been facing. So you're getting more ABs. You can get more locked in. Like you said, a home run off a lefty, the first one this year, and only the 9th of his career. Funny enough, but yeah, of the 10 leadoff home runs that the Dodgers have this year, 6 have been by Jock, and that's the most in Dodgers history, by the way. That 10, leaving them second in MLB this season, with a hat tip to our friend Mr. Michael Duarte, Mikey D of NBC LA,
friend of the Blue Heaven podcast,
friend of the show,
good, and a good man.
Yeah, and he drops in a fist bump while we're at it. Homeboy is locked in, hopefully at the right time, and he's one of those dudes that really can step his game up even more in the playoffs. So
yeah. If you've hit 3 World Series home runs, you're legitimately a postseason threat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so again, I'm excited to have him. He's another guy that like I'm trying not to take for granted because who knows what happens with a crowded outfield this season. But
Yeah.
he just, he's like a real Dodger to me, and he's been through the high points and the low points, and he's kind of came through it. And we're seeing solid baseball out of the guy, as Clint said. Last 20 games, he's hitting about 300, and it's great to see because I think he seems like a likable guy, even if he can't articulate well with the media.
He don't do the words all that good for sure, but he's a nice boy. He's a very nice boy. So let's see what else we got. We got Salt Lake City, Utah representing. Robert Allen says it's Dodger country. Love it. We like to see that stuff. Go Dodgers from Oregon. We got Mike. Mike coming in with that. I like that. AJ talking about, I believe he's talking about Rich Hill. Last 7 starts, ERA is 4.85. Yeah, not good. Definitely not good.
Is that AJ on the guitar?
That is AJ on the guitar, the very same.
Hey, that's good stat work, AJ. Thank you. That's interesting. I mean, because again, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
If you'd have said, what's Hill's last 8 or 10 starts? What's his ERA? I would have said, mid to low, mid to 3.5, 3.25. That's scary.
Yeah,
that's definitely concerning.
He's been the problem area. See, YouTube, leaving YouTube out of the fun. Jerry Guzman, he's saying, let's go Doyers. I like it. Doyers, please, if you will. How's our Periscope side going? I know we're getting closer to game time. That's when
Periscope, I think a lot of them, we've got some people watching out there. They're not commenting a ton. In fact, there's been no comments since we had a freeze pick to click. I mean, if you're watching on Periscope, hit us up. Tell me your area code. Tell me something about yourself. But thanks for watching the show most of all. Make sure that you're following our official Twitter account. Mm-hmm. If you're like out on a date or something, one thing I like a lot of people talk about is you can go and check our Twitter account no matter what you're doing. If there's a Dodgers game going on, and you're going to kind of know exactly what's going on. Like the other day, I was running my daughter somewhere, and I saw on the GameCast like injury on the play. Mm-hmm. I think it was either Yaz or Belly. Now Belly got hit in the shin, and I started panicking. And I'm like, oh, my God, how do I find out what happened to him? And I went to Dodgers Nation Twitter to find out that he was staying in the game. And, so it's a good place to get updates, guys.
Yeah. We get them the fan take. If something's bad, you're going to know it's bad. So without being
real
homers.
Quick, JD, we've got a JD S45 saying happy Kershaw Day. Go Dodgers from Oregon. Thank you, JD. And then Jay Braun 26 says, go Dodgers all the way from Calgary, Alberta.
Wow.
That's awesome. And
that's great,
say hi to our friend Gail Johnson up there.
That's right. Friend of the show, eh?
Big time friend of the show. It's nice to know that there's Dodgers fans
all over the world.
All over the place, man.
Fantastic.
I mean, that just shows you the best brand in sports.
Also today's a historic day, or was it yesterday? I forget the stat. Oh yeah, it was on this date, 12 years ago was the 4+1 game, gang. How about that? The back plus the Nomar walk-off. 12 years ago to this day.
Dude, no way.
It's crazy.
I'm getting old fast.
We're old. No, not getting old. We're old now.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? Two old guys. But, would you call tonight's game the most important game of the year?
I think this is a big...
It's tough to do that.
Yesterday was the statement game. This one might be top 3 most important game of the year. But yeah, I can't argue against calling it the most important game of the year because you can finally get that breathing room. Dodgers have only held first place for like 1 day at a time over the last month plus, like almost 2 months. So
right.
To have that little bit of cushion, 1.5 lead with how many left? Like less than 10 games, I think now, something around there.
I think we got 11 left.
There you go. Yeah, it's
and I just want to relax and wear these shades more than 1 day in a row.
First place shades, the Aviators.
Yeah, man. But that's what's got me thinking about tonight. Like, I just want to go into tomorrow, no matter what happens, knowing we're still in first, and I think it would let the guys relax a little bit too. I mean, not too much, but they wouldn't be playing backs to the wall and gripping too tight. I mean, I just think a lot could be said for if we could stretch that out to a game and a half, 2 games and a half right now. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see this team really, hit the hockey stick, and run away with this thing if they can get that stretched out. But that is easier said than done.
Yeah. I mean, luckily we got the right guy on the mound to make it happen. Kershaw, since August 2nd, just saw the stat, 4-0 with a 2.5 ERA. So your ace, your longtime ace, is making it happen. And I'm sure Denise in the 952 is going to enjoy that game.
She is, but that doesn't really echo. It's the Dodgers. Like, one might think they're a stronger team at home, but you brought to my attention before the show, they're not they're not the world beaters at Chavez this year.
No,
that some might think they are.
So, I mean, with so much of the struggle that started out, early this season, again, Dodgers lead the National League in home runs, but that was slow going early on in the season, and wins were hard to come by too early on. So, with now 5 games, including today, 5 games left to play at the home ballpark, Dodgers are just 40-36 at home, which would be their worst mark in LA history. And in 2011 they went 42-39. That's the stat we have here. Also not very good, but yeah, it's weird that a lot of the winning has been done on the road. So luckily, it looks like we're not going to be having home field advantage in this playoff. Could be a positive thing.
Well, yeah, I mean it's definitely a mark of a good team. Mm-hmm. Winning on the road. You'd like to see them take care of business at least the next. I mean, it's hard to believe there's 5 games left. It's a little bit sad for me because you get all the nice things at once at home.
Yeah.
You get the backdrop. You get Dieter Rule, friend of the show.
Yep.
So let's just see them take care of business the next 5 days. Run off a let's call it 4-1 to close things out, and then we'll take care of business in the playoffs too. We got a couple nice comments over here on Periscope. Our friend Rig Taker says it's time for Dodger baseball.
Yep.
And then Dodger fan 42031 also says it's time for Dodger baseball, but he adds in Vin's voice, nobody I miss more than Vin on a nightly basis, man. So that's going to get some run.
I mean, there's nobody that we could have been blessed better with than the team of Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser, and of course with Alana Rizzo, who's far and away the best in the business. We're in great hands, but it's just not the same with a hi everybody and a very pleasant good evening to you. It's glorious, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll open up to those still watching here before the game gets started in about 5 minutes. The last time I remember crying in my life was Vin's final send-off in San Fran. I mean, I think I sat on my couch and sobbed like a baby. But I mean, he's why I'm a Dodger fan. I mean, I grew up. I got verklempt, man. And he just countless nights like tonight, I fell asleep to the guy, or he told me a story all by himself. The guy was magical, and can't say enough about him.
Nobody ever better to have done it. So more throwback then for us. We had Eric Mills on Facebook asking, better Dodgers memory, the 4+1 game or it should be the 18 pitch at bat to Alex Cora that resulted in a home run. I believe it was off Cubs' Matt Clement at the time.
I remember the Cora thing.
I was there.
Little more.
I was there.
Were you really?
I was at that ballpark.
I think you told me that.
Yeah.
That's sweet. That was man, that was big time.
Being there, it was such an interesting experience because you check in and out of the at bat like 3 times during it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, holy crap, Cora's still up there? How is this happening? Because you got friends there, you're having drinks, you're messing around, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden, Cora's still up there, and you're seeing on the old scoreboard there. It's like this is the 14th pitch. It's like, wow, this is insane, and then cracks that one over the right into the right field dugout, or not dugout, bullpen, and absolute madness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just one of your many claims to fame, man.
Yeah, been there. I was also technically at the 4+1 game, but we couldn't get tickets to get in. We couldn't find anybody selling them cheap enough outside. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow! I did another fun fact. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, fun facts with FRG.
Well, for more fun facts with FRG, I understand you taped a new Blue Heaven podcast episode today. It's going to be dropping tomorrow on iTunes and on Dodgers Nation. So if you guys are out there and you haven't checked out our podcast yet, I mean, it's incredible. Seriously, it's great baseball talk with FRG himself and our friend Kev is your friend.
Kev is your friend.
On Twitter. I can't wait for it to drop. It's become kind of a Wednesday night, Thursday morning tradition for me. So I'm looking forward to it this week.
Yeah, this week we ended up talking to LA Times Houston Mitchell, who it was a great conversation, just kind of touching on some of the players that are hot and looking forward to the playoffs. So what we think is really going to happen and what he thinks is going to happen, and also people in the LA local area, local celebrity Megan Holiday from K-Rock, the world famous K-Rock, was on the show. Super fun chick, super fun conversation. So that's going to be in tomorrow's episode, as well as I'll probably throw out video on YouTube of that full conversation. So Dodgers Nation's where you want to be right now, guys. Big stuff is happening.
Yeah, and I think we're going to keep cranking the content, on the site as we make a run back to the World Series. But it's definitely a good time to be a Dodgers fan. We're living a charmed life. I say it every day. I mean, I looked in the standings today. The Baltimore Orioles have lost 107 games. They've won only 43 times.
Ouch.
People don't. I mean, those things are happening in this world right now, and in this baseball world. And here we are in first place. Don't take it for granted, because it can easily flip over. I mean, it can flip overnight, and I think we're in a good era right now. But just trying to enjoy it. And I know we all get pissed at certain things on certain nights, but as a large scale, we've got it good.
Yeah, there's no better team to be a fan of.
No.
There's no better fan base than Dodgers. And leaving us here, we got Joanne talking about it's a Dodger house. More than 50 years. She says 50 years times 2 of Dodger fandom in her household. So that's fantastic. And Chris over here saying, as I go to my one-shot cam here, he's saying, I got to write it. It's time for Dodger baseball, gang. Hashtag it's time for Dodger baseball. Love it. Let's go blue.
Yeah, I think with that we can, kind of sign off. I can flip the stinger up. But you got any last words, Clint, before we go out and see Kershaw get this done?
Nope. Well, one, apparently I centered it wrong, so my bad, guys. I'll go ahead and put that back up again. I don't know where I wrote it on the paper, and I couldn't quite see it.
That's all right, I mean, like we like to say, things become things, right?
Things become things. Thanks everybody who hung out, participated with us. We don't know when we'll be back. Probably Friday, maybe sooner, but definitely hang out with Greg Bergman in the post game. He'll be tomorrow, hopefully with some exciting news as well, and hopefully we have a 3-game win streak to talk about when he comes back on live. Anyways.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man, and let's get it done tonight. And thanks for all that watched us. You guys are what makes being a Dodger fan and doing this great. So let's have some fun tonight. Let's party, as I like to say.
There we go. All right, bye, everybody.